Good evening. A very heartfelt episode of Hastly Kayfabed. Good evening, and a very heartfelt episode of Hastly Kayfabed recap. Sounds a little weird me saying it twice, but I forgot to hit the push the talk button so my other two co-hosts actually hear me speak. But yeah, as the image says, we're gonna roll right into it. Bobby Heenan died at 72 years old this week.
73.
73.
Yeah, we definitely will miss the Weasel. Coincidentally enough, I had been watching a lot of primetime wrestling, which pretty much started when Heenan was starting with Gorilla Monsoon over there, and those guys were an absolute pair. So it's kind of like, hey, Monsoon and Heenan are together again, and they're probably calling a match or getting pissed at each other, or Heenan's probably wearing the neck thing again.
They're up there with Piper, probably calling one of the greatest wrestling matches none of us will see in our lifetimes.
Yeah, for all the legends that are up there, they must be calling some great matches.
Mm-hmm. And hey, one of them stays. One of them had to stop the Rapture.
Yeah, really. It's kind of a twisted irony. I always said when Heenan got throat cancer in 2002, I'm like, that's just twisted.
Yeah,
since he was known for his gift of gab almost more than anything.
The thing that got him in the most trouble was the thing that he ended up getting diseased for, which kind of sucks.
Ironic,
very ironic. But considering he was probably one of the guys that actually got it the most,
yeah,
he understood that how to be a heel, particularly as a manager and as a commentator. And that he was willing to be the butt of the joke at any cost if it was going to get another guy over.
I think that's what helped, like, Bobby Heenan actually get a lot for what he was doing, is that he was willing to take the hit, even if it was like I've seen some of the past stuff he's done. Not like you guys who actually have seen a lot, but I've seen some of the stuff he's done, and this guy is amazing. I just wish we had someone like him around as a manager, because yes, some people could say there is, someone like Paul Heyman, but when you think about it, there's no one like Bobby Heenan.
No,
there's something special about Bobby Heenan that's much better than Paul Heyman, because I've seen some of his promo work, and it's like, dude, we need someone like him now. There's gotta be like some wrestlers who can use someone of a Bobby Heenan like manager.
Sure. I mean, his choice of wording was always good. It was never, we still use the word stable to this day.
Yeah.
And it was never the Heenan stable. It was the Heenan family. And there was actually a reason. And I didn't know if there was a reason for it. There's actually a reason why he called it the Heenan family. Is because horses are stables where you put horses. Those were his words.
Good point.
A stable is a good point.
Where you put horses. Horses.
Yeah.
This is a family. Yeah. And if you look at it, if you look at Hulk Hogan's career and the people that he put over, the biggest constant that he had, if you think about it, was really Bobby Heenan.
Yeah, he always faced against one of Bobby Heenan's biggest draws, whether it was King Kong Bundy, Andre the Giant,
Paul Orndorff.
He
put, I'm not sure, I think he had a match with Hercules at one point. Fucking Andre. For 3 to 4 years, in the beginning, Heenan was the foil to Hogan. And he did the same thing with Warrior, with Rick Rude and Perfect.
Like, he was the ultimate heel. Like, if anyone just look up heel manager in the dictionary, you'll see probably the same picture I'm using right now for Bobby Heenan right there and then.
Absolutely.
And this is just me saying that every manager has their specialties, but as far as being the heel that you want to see get their ass kicked, and sometimes actually did, you could look no further than Bobby.
Yeah.
Well, we wish the Heenan family all the best in this trying time.
and we're glad that despite the fact that we're going to miss him, we're glad he's no longer suffering.
Yeah, he had throat cancer since 2002, which is the most twisted irony you could ever get, given the gift of gab that night. I hate to agree with Voldemort on anything, but he was right on one thing. There's very few wrestlers nowadays that could touch Bobby Heenan in a promo.
Well, even a clock, even a stop clock is right twice a
Well,
day. But
you know what I mean.
yeah,
I think it's more bleach blonde wheels. His hair.
Yeah,
his,
it
his
is
hair
definitely.
his hair was bleached. Yeah, his hair was bleached for the longest time, and that's why it's been. And after a while, it was just white. But he's had white hair for ages.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was more his like style of having this kind of having that hair, but honestly, it just makes it seem more like his style.
Well, yeah, he was supposed to be some big Hollywood, California guy who obviously is, well, a little shady in his business, but that's his character.
Exactly. And I've seen some of the promos that I've seen of having this big house and having these families. And then of course you got Gorilla Monsoon with him trying to do like their promo work right there next to the pool. I'm just like, why don't we have these kind of things anymore? Because that was like unique that you actually had
I
fun at someone's house.
once again I hate to say it, but there, as Vince Russo admitted, you need a guy like Bobby Heenan for that to work.
Exactly. It's
Like you could find, or you also need a straight man like Gorilla, and I don't know too many superstars that could pull that off either. So that kind
No,
of answers your question. You need that perfect straight man and, well, comic duo for that to work.
yeah, Bobby and Gorilla were really the only two that could really pull that off. I feel at least. I mean, even if you saw Bobby Heenan and Shivani or Bobby Heenan and Vince or Bobby Heenan and
And Vince,
anybody else. Yeah, Bobby Heenan was with Vince McMahon every so often.
yeah,
Um, there was just nobody like Bobby Heenan. Bobby Heenan and Monsoon rather. Bobby Heenan and Monsoon
like
were that
they're
good.
they're, they're great wrestling commentators. No one will ever discredit Jerry Lawler the King, but or or
Jerry
freaking
Lawler and
Vince.
Jim Ross, you mean?
Sorry, Lawler and Ross. Sorry, or Vince and Jesse Ventura, but you could, but still none of them could really touch to Bobby and Gorilla.
Well, to be fair, Gorilla had his thing with um, Jesse with Ventura as well.
Well, yeah, true. And of course, you had the moments with Piper and when Savage was on commentary, but still, it's like if there's like a school, if there's like a class in the Performance Center, sorry about the burp, for future wrestling commentators, lessons 1 through 10 should be about watching clips of Bobby Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon.
I
One
feel
through
like
10.
Well, 1 through 10, and then you're going to have to add a couple lessons for JR and the King and
Try
maybe.
try lessons 1 through 100. Shit.
Well, how many lessons were planning?
I honestly, when you look at them, it just makes me feel like maybe again there is the whole thing about how past experience does help with commentary, but maybe having classes on being an announcer would actually help a lot of these guys.
Well, yeah, you have. I mean, they're the and well, the part of the problem. Whoa, part of the problem that I think we're running into is that there are very different styles of commentating, and the what the WWE tries to do with their commentating is not necessarily play-by-play commentating. Um, while Gorilla Monsoon would continue stories, he was still a very good play-by-play commentator. He just took it too far. He was the guy that would make up things and make up weird body parts that may or may not exist.
With the trapezes.
Well, the trapezius, occipital protuberance comes to mind. And mind you, he probably had a pretty good understanding of the body, but he was. I would not ask him to diagnose me for any sort of disease. But
Well, his job was to make sure that the audience realized that whatever the wrestlers are doing to each other really hurt. I
actually
don't think,
hurt, yeah.
yeah, I don't think he's out to try to get a medical degree anytime soon.
Yeah, no. I think he was a better. I mean, he did a lot better job than I think Vince was much more about driving the story along. He was. I would almost dare say that Vince was the color commentator and Jesse Ventura was the play-by-play guy.
It was just flip. You had the face color guy and the heel play-by-play guy because
play-by-play
Jesse
guy.
will actually call the moves.
Yeah. Although I have heard some very odd combinations, like Jesse Ventura and Bruno Sammartino. And
Huh?
Bruno wouldn't talk a whole lot.
I was like, that. I know Jesse could talk, but that has to be some work.
Yeah, Jesse had to. Oh, geez. I hope he's not dead. I'm watching another match. But Jesse had to make Bruno talk. He really did, and it was, and I think it was kind of hard for him. I think it was honestly kind of hard for him to do, but he was able to do it. So, but yeah, Bobby Heenan, Gorilla Monsoon, the best,
like the absolute best. And unfortunately, we won't hear their voices anymore in this lifetime. But if any good kids go to heaven, they'll probably hear the greatest commentary duel, probably calling the greatest match we'll never see in this lifetime. I guess we should move on because we actually do have a lot of other news to talk about. But
yeah, there's a lot of news, which I'm like really surprised by.
So what are we going to start with? The clusterfuck that the biggest clusterfuck in the history of clusterfucks, or this new clusterfuck that I just found that's also a big clusterfuck in the history of clusterfucks?
Well, let's start with the biggest clusterfuck in the history of clusterfuck, because I'm trying to remember which clusterfuck we're talking about.
Yeah, I'm like kind of like, which clusterfuck are we talking about? I thought we had like 3 or 4 or 10 clusterfucks we're talking about.
Well, we're probably all thinking about whatever the hell that company that Anthem owns, which people are calling it, GFW. Some people call it Impact. Some people call it TNA. Let's just call it for what it is. Anthem's dumpster fire is what I'm calling it.
A garbage fire Inc.
I thought we all agreed on one name. I thought we all agreed on a name.
They have it.
The Owl.
No, that's the name of the company.
That's the name of the company that owns them. We're talking about the name of the wrestling company.
Yeah, the wrestling company. Let's call it ADF. Anthem's dumpster fire.
There you go.
Because that's really what it fucking is. Holy shit!
What is going on over there?
First they are GFW, now they aren't GFW. We don't got Cornette anymore. We don't got Jeff Jarrett anymore. I'm waiting for Dutch to be fired,
which is probably coming up. Watch that happen the second we end this week's broadcast.
And the moment they get sold, all of a sudden you hear
sold to who?
No, all of a sudden you hear Matt Hardy talking in an English accent more often, in a horrible English accent more often.
But it's supposed to be that way.
Because you have. There's still interest that WWE. With the other thing recently, there's still interest WWE might be interested in them. You have. Billy Corgan might still pull his hair in the fire. What what's with this company? Why is it cursed? What evil satanic ritual did the Giants put this company on when they founded it?
I don't know.
Remember that this whole thing started Back in 2000, what? 2000, what? 1, 2, 0?
Yeah, shortly after WCW closed.
Shortly after WCW, so it got to be around 2002, right?
Yeah.
And remember, the name was provided by Voldemort, which automatically means that we already have a problem. Yeah, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling. Yeah, we know why it was called TNA, because Vince Russo thought it was a funny name.
Okay, according
Yeah.
to Wikipedia, for some reason, it's still called Global Force Wrestling.
They just haven't updated it yet.
Under Anthem Wrestling Expeditions LLC. Officially, it's currently known as, and the company started in 2002 as NWA TNA.
Yeah. Well, the only thing about it, I guess the show is over.
We're still here, aren't we?
Thank goodness for that. Means I can concentrate on this. It started as TNA, obviously, but here's the thing: the wrestling show is not called GFW, Global Force Wrestling. It's now just back to Impact Wrestling. So, what the hell? NWA TNA to TNA to Impact to GFW to back to Impact. Honestly, I think it started with Vince Russo. Then they were looking for people, and then all of a sudden we got Dixie Carter.
Which Dixie Carter is such a clusterfuck. We still have to do episode 3 of the TNA to Dixie Carter years.
Dixie Carter then defies Spike TV orders
by bringing back Vince Russo.
By bringing in Vince Russo as a secret.
A secret consultant.
And then when that gets found out, because some dumbass sent out
an email to the wrong address, it just happens to be to where again?
I forget where it was, but it was a wrestling news website. And then he asked, "Was this email supposed to go to me? And let me know, please tell me if it wasn't, so that way I don't have to worry about publishing it." Nothing happened, so he published it. And well, what happened? We lost a TV deal. They had to go down from Spike to Destination America to Pop TV. Dixie Carter finally gets ousted. Is bought by Anthem.
After losing almost everything and pissing off Billy Corgan.
Billy Corgan tries to buy it out. Something fucked up happens. We don't know the entire details of it. Anthem comes in, picks up the pieces, brings back. Then Jeff Jarrett comes in, tries to get his company back, tries to pick up the pieces, tries to bring in people that he's happy with.
Tries to merge it with GFW and brings in Dutch Mantel and Jeff Jarrett to help. So
Jim Cornette. Of course, there's Bruce Pritchard, a few other guys. And then all of a sudden, now we have no clue what the hell is happening. We have no fucking clue.
Like, Jeff Jarrett's apparently out. The GFW deal apparently imploded. Well, Jim Cornette's out the company for now, mostly because they're doing tapings in Canada where Cornette's banned.
Cornette's not really allowed up in Canada. Cornette's about well allowed in Canada as Piper was in Japan.
Yeah, really.
And Puerto Rico.
We still have no clue about the war between the Hardys and Ed Norham.
We're gonna have to see what the hell happens.
Honestly, I am not even knowing what's going on right now because
no one does.
No one does.
And that's what sucks, is that we're so confused. However, because of the said survey, I'm not even sure what to think anymore because there's just so many things on that. I know there's been other companies that said these kind of similar things. So I've seen companies like Funimation ask for like certain shows of what they would have and if they got these certain things, even though they never did. So seeing something like this makes me feel like it's just a what if situation. not it is going to happen. Although it would be kind of nice.
Well, are you gonna follow up, or one of us have to pick up the
I
piece?
can't follow that. We're talking like I say, one of the biggest clusterfucks in the big history.
No, I was talking to Reed.
I know, but the thing is, I'm trying to say, like, the whole thing about them trying to sell the company. Like the rumor that we heard, but then they're opening their digital store, like their own digital streaming service.
Well,
and
yeah,
it's like,
the rumor started by Sports Illustrated, but apparently Ed Norham debunked the rumor. But given
Except he was the one that was talking about it.
yeah, I'm about to say, given this company, God knows where the truth is. It's probably underneath this mattress between the bottle of bourbon and everybody's hopes and dreams.
At
what
this
hopes and
point,
dreams?
at this point, it's probably
Exactly.
fucking closer to Live Free or Die rather than Famous Potatoes. Holy fuck! Do I have to do the Jim Cornette impression, or do I have to do the Bruce Pritchard doing Jim Cornette impression? Holy shit! What the fuck? None of this makes any sense. What the fuck, you stupid shit?
None of this makes any sense. We're all confused, and even if we got all the information, we'd still be saying, "What the fuck?" Nothing can make this work.
Let's remember, we started this show with the TNA Doomsday Clock. It seems like it just kept ticking ever since episode 1.
Yeah, I think all that happened is that someone just hit the snooze button. That's all that happened is someone hit the snooze button and now it's ticking again.
No, it's just the alarm is going off yet again. It's been happening for the past 3 years. One time, TNA actually had some brilliance. They actually had some absolute brilliance. That was between 2005 2006.
Where they had everybody at the prime. They just brought in Kurt Angle. Everybody had that, huh?
Yeah, no, exactly. They had the right team. 2004, 2005, 2006. They were building the brand. They had the right places. They had the right people. They were away from the pay-per-view model. They were back. They were on, the TNA, programming once a week thing. They had the right idea. They were approaching a TV deal. And yet somehow all this just fucks up. How?
We're asking the same question.
Like I said, someone cast some sort of evil curse on TNA when they founded it.
Oh, okay. So it's Voldemort's fault. Okay, so
apparently
we can say that.
He must really be a wizard. I mean, maybe maybe when we call him Voldemort, it's actually closer to the truth than we thought. Because how many times can a company get this many chances, have this many superstars, and find even new ways of fucking up? And I'm a Jets fan. I'm used to seeing shit like this. I wish John was on tonight because I want to rip him on the Giants. So, should we talk about, huh?
So, well, I got another clusterfuck.
Go ahead.
Oh, geez, we got more?
So, well, it's completely unrelated. So, you mentioned Evolved earlier. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And apparently, a while back, there was somebody was saying Cedric the guy who books Evolve, Gabe Sapolsky. He said that Cedric Alexander was going to evolve that for this upcoming weekend in Detroit versus Zack Sabre Jr. And they put up tickets to tickets and information. Except that Gabe accidentally used a Fightful story link where Flow Sports apparently was suing the World Wrestling Network for $1 million plus. And it was up for like 18 minutes. Not a huge clusterfuck, and thankfully Flow Sports doesn't seem to have their hands in everything. But it's weird. It's just weird that that particular article was up there for a minute, and it puts some things in interesting concern, particularly for me, because the way I view some of my kayfabe commentary stuff is through World Wrestling Network. Now I may just have to buy the stuff that I bought through World Wrestling Network through kayfabe commentaries as a download because I want to be able to watch my shit. Minor clusterfuck compared to GFW, but it's kind of weird that we're seeing this story about, Flow Sports suing World Wrestling Network for some bizarre reason.
Yeah. We even had internet wrestling clusterfuck. Well, sort of. Now, there's a much more popular street wrestling news called What Culture. It seems like 5 of their top guys are leaving the company.
They aren't. It's not that they are leaving the company. They're gone.
Oh, they're officially gone now?
Yeah, they're gone.
Let me double check. Let me check the thing to make sure I got the names right. But yeah, these were the top 5 guys running the wrestling side of What Culture. Mind you, What Culture was so big that they actually had their own federation.
They
But
had
yeah,
their own promotion. Yeah, wrestling promotion.
Adam Blampied. I'm sorry, I'm going to horribly
Yay.
mismanage these names. Adam Pacelli, Roch Tweedle, Sam Driver, and Jack King left What Culture.
Yeah, just to find out that Pachidi and Blanvier, those are two of the bigger names that were actually like, what? Then you get Jack and King Ross and Sam. It's just one of those things that was like, why did all 5 of them leave at once? Like, what happened? Everyone's like been asking the question, what exactly happened to have those 5 specifically leave all at once?
Yeah.
Especially again when you consider that they are running
Yeah,
their
yeah,
wrestling promotion.
What Culture actually has a wrestling federation. Well, I don't know if they still have it since the 5 guys we just mentioned were running it more or less.
Now,
Yeah,
I guess Blampier has announced that that those 5 are putting together a new
A new
I
business,
can't
but
a new business. I'm going to call it a new business or a new group, and I guess they're calling it C5.
yeah, I saw the name on there, but I'm just going, okay, what's like? All I've seen is just a picture. I have not seen anything from any of their things from. I mostly follow them on Twitter, and no other information has come up.
Well, they'll figure it out. I'm sure.
we'll
I'm sure
figure
they'll
it out.
figure it out.
This is just a corporate letter to let people know what's going on. So obviously, they're not going to go into all the juicy details, but that will probably come out in a few weeks. And What Culture already announced that they are prepared to hire new people, and this is their chance to diversify the company, if you will.
They already have been. I mean, they've already been showing new people come in. They've been even having the guys from the other channels, like from What Culture, Normal Comics, and Gaming, come over and actually take over. Like Ben, um, Joe, and I keep forgetting the other ones. But I see all these new guys. I'm just going, they do have some good charisma. I do like this some of them do, but you miss the people from the original.
Well,
Again, of course, they've been getting dislike bombs on every single video they've been uploading.
well, yeah, because that's not the original group, but what else? Well, WWE. Anything you want to talk about them? Other
In
than the
terms of,
huh?
Is this like the go home show or some shit like that? Is it No Mercy like next week or something?
it's
Actually,
this
it
Sunday.
is. Yeah.
And I have no idea what the card is, and I don't care what the card is.
Well, that's
and-
because, with the exception of Lesnar versus Strowman, and maybe the tag title match, most of the card really doesn't matter. We'll go over it and make our picks anyway.
Oh god!
I totally forgot about the picks. I totally forgot this was a pick show. I
To be
totally
fair,
forgot.
so did I.
Yeah, and I gotta. Oh, great! Now I gotta go. Let me get the list.
Well, while he gets the list, Oh yeah, Paige is due to come back soon. She's back in the Performance Center.
And to be fair, I honestly hope she gets a fair shake. I know that, and it's going to suck because I think she's going to get a lot more heat from the leak than Xavier Woods did. I mean, Xavier Woods got heat for it for about 2 weeks, and that was about it. But Paige, I think it's going to suck for her for a while. But hopefully she's surrounded with by people that are good to her and aren't going to give her a hard time, and hopefully it'll lead to something good. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know.
I think obviously the E is trying to get all the water under the bridge, but you know the fans are going to get her at least once.
Oh,
Well,
you know they will.
It's not going to be just once, is the thing. I don't think it's going to be just once. And like I say, it just kind of sucks that way. Just kind of sucks that way. I don't know. I wish her all the luck in the world. I really do. And,
one last piece of news.
We might make jokes about the NXT title belt and hydrogen peroxide that needs to be on it and all that shit. But in terms of her,
I'm pretty sure they're going to
I
debut a new NXT Women's title belt and just set the one Asuka had on fire.
they did another one after they've all after Asuka already relinquished that title belt.
Oh, that's right. My bad. I forgot the one Paige has no longer active.
Yeah, they debuted those new title belts a while ago.
Yeah.
All three belts, all three sets of belts were replaced. And honestly, I think they look better anyway. But it gives that kind of fight feel to the title belts rather than the chintzy feel of the WWE belts, or the WWE world belts, or heavyweight belts, or main card belts, or whatever the fuck you want to.
Last piece of news: WWE did send out a survey, which our friend Will actually got a piece of, and it asked a few questions. I guess in a way of trying to save their let's just say less than stellar attendance records. And a couple of questions asked like well you had the survey, Will.
Well, they were interesting questions. What kind of programming would you like to see? What it was specifically was is they were really thinking about introducing a premium tier program, which is something that we've talked about on this show before. We've talked about them talking about thinking about doing
A premium
multi-tier program for WWE Network.
Yeah, where higher tiers get access to not only WWE stuff, but stuff from now. Remember, these are all like pie in the sky ideas, so none of these are locked in stone yet. But some of the names they talked about were TNA or GFW or whatever the fuck would you call that organization?
Anthem's Dumpster Fire.
Anthem's Dumpster Fire. There we go. ADF,
Anthem's Dumpster Fire. They did mention Ring of Honor. Some people got New Japan Pro Wrestling, which was very, very interesting because they weren't mentioning things by, say, independent wrestling outside of WWE or, other promotion or other, promotions outside of World Wrestling Entertainment. These were named. Now, I will say that WWE may have been the one doing this. It may have been a WWE survey. It was done by a third party.
Do you know what's third party, or is it just one of those guys like to keep it secret?
I forget what the website was. I actually I could probably pull it up. But the let me see if I can find it. But the website was not like www.com/survey whatever the fuck.
It is ran by a third party.
It was run by a third party. It really was. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Click here. Yeah, it was under wweresearch.com, but it's part of Vaint.com, which is an enterprise solution, VEINT.
But you got this.
Um,
But you got this as an official email.
It was an official email from WWE. Don't get me wrong. It was an official email from WWE, but the link sent you to a customized website run by a third party company. Um, and what they had you do was they had you pick things that you were interested in, from basically from a scale of really excited to I don't care. And I think like most people, I was real excited to see them mention third party stuff. So that's a thing. I mean, they're to me, while it is a third party, if they're mentioning other wrestling promotions by name, they're thinking about it. They're thinking about it. And they're thinking about it seriously, particularly if the situation with the dumpster fire is what we think it is.
It would be very interesting if it really is, because the whole thing about what's going on with them. We talked about this before in the past. Again, we've talked about this in way detail back in the beginning of this very damn program. That we thought that the only thing that they would want is just the library. Is that the same as you would say right now?
Well, for the dumpster fire, yes. I don't think they necessarily need to bring in more talent, particularly with
Well,
Patron.
that also continues with the possible rumor that. Now, remember, once again, this is rumor. I want to hammer the word rumor on this screen if I want to. That
How many
WWE,
salt shakers should we give these people?
I think 100, but according to rumor, it's possible WWE could use this tier program to introduce an edgier show that will be exclusive to the network. Something like a full blown ECW.
They mentioned the name ECW in there as an edgier show. I wasn't interested in that,
No,
personally.
no.
Like
And
as I said in the past, ECW worked for its time, like the Attitude Era worked for its time. If you brought it back today, it's gonna go over like a fart in church. It'll
no,
be hyped
no,
for a while and then die a quick and painful death.
I am
it,
with you on that.
and it's one of those things where and it's like I say, it's one of those things where you can tell it's done by a third party because they actually mention ECW. An edgier show. Well, what the hell is an edgier show these days? It's exclusive to the network. Honestly, I think if they're really going to succeed, the multi-tier program that they need to be should be 10, 15, 20. 10 is where it is right now with the pay-per-views and all that. 15, you introduce, extra content like you know, they were also mentioning like scripted shows and semi-scripted reality shows
Yeah,
and shit
like
like
for
that. So
example, making what you would
With
call the
drama.
full. No, I was actually about to say what you would call it, Southpaw Regional into a full blown show.
well,
That
they didn't mention Southpaw, but they mentioned Legend House, for instance.
what?
The problem is anytime here's the problem. Anytime you mention scripted show, the first thing I think of is Kevin Dunn. And
And
that
that
immediately
already
means
is a problem.
and that's already a problem to me. That's already a problem to me because he already stuck his nose into WrestleMania with John Cena and Nikki Bella. And even John Cena didn't like that idea. The only reason why he went through with it was because he was rewarded with a world title run for a month. And even then, I'm not sure if he was okay with the idea. You know, I always said that when John Cena and Nikki Bella did the thing at WrestleMania, I went, well, Total Divas and Total Bellas are now secured for another 2 to 3 seasons.
Yep.
That's the result of that. You cannot take what happened with Randy Savage and Elizabeth Hillett and turn it into and they tried to pull a Macho Man and Elizabeth and they turned it into a farce. I was pissed about that, and apparently so was Cena.
I was personally afraid that we are going because remember when I said like, oh god, they're gonna have to win at SummerSlam. Thankfully,
Oh,
they didn't.
Yeah,
but still.
thankfully, I really hope that when they have the wedding, it is not involved anywhere near a camera that's live.
No, it'll be on Total Divas. That we know for sure.
Yes, we know divas,
it'll
but
be
it-
Total Divas or Total Bellas. It won't be in a wrestling ring.
That's what I want. I don't want it to be. It's like you could have the wedding, but don't do it in the ring because we have seen enough of those in the past, and we know how they always turn out.
Just pause. Luz posted something on his Facebook, and I think this might be a quote from CM Punk. Instead of chanting my name unnecessarily in the arena, why don't you all chant Sami Zayn's or Ziggler's name so they might get a push?
Wait, CM Punk is trying to make sense?
No.
I said I don't know if that's actually something Punk said.
Yeah, because it looks like it's just a kind of one of those meme pictures, but
I mean, what if it was? Again, it'd be like really interesting if it really did mean that they were that he was basically saying, "Go for them." Honestly, they should, but I understand why people are doing it because they like CM Punk. Unfortunately,
they want Punk back in the ring, and because they feel that they a lot of the IWC, when now mind you, when we refer to the IWC, and I have to be very specific about this because some people don't understand what I mean by the IWC.
What
I mean
by...
I mean the vocal portion of the internet wrestling community that are the biggest bunch of marks that do trash this is trash that, this person should be here, these people should
these
be
are the
pushed,
people of which let's just and also this is probably the last episode we'll be using the current picture of IWC Bob. He's officially been replaced.
That's right. We have a new.
We actually have new IWC
we
Bob.
have a new official IWC Bob because let's remember this Tekken character has a big difference between that and actual members of the IWC who would make fun of on the show. This man can actually win a fight.
And I've seen it. I've watched Tekken 7.
Yes, and this guy, his name is Bob, right?
Well,
no.
This
I forget
what this guy's real name is. I'm about to pull his picture up in a few minutes.
But he got owned by Nia Jax. He got owned by Nia Jax in a way that only Nia Jax could do it. I mean, it was one of those things where it was like, dude, don't, take a shower, do this, do that, and just find some love somewhere. And it was just like, wow, he just got owned.
Oh yeah, that
he got owned by Nia Jax.
Yeah, I remember that. I actually I know someone showed that, and I saw it. I'm like, wow.
I know. I retweeted it.
Yeah, I love it. Oh yeah, and the guy that we're putting on the screen here, his name is Bob.
Well, yeah, Anthony Bob, yeah. But yeah, this is a new IWC Bob, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah, this. and he's wearing an Akuma shirt.
So it's keeping the fighting game theme alive.
Yep.
So now anytime we make fun of the internet wrestling community, this is the picture that will come up from now on.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny how we actually thought it was the one before. Now we see this. I'm like, this is probably the most appropriate photo for the IWC.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, the difference is Bob Richards can actually fight.
Yeah. Of course, at the end, he actually got skinny and he got angry at himself for it. That's the funny part.
It's still the fact that he's actually accomplished. He actually has accomplishments in his life, where the average we don't know this guy personally. He might be a bioengineer and make $1 million a day just by looking at this camera, for all we know. But
you know what I have to say about that? I actually have. Let's see here. Oh, good, because this needs to be up here too.
Oh, you're adding
I
another
have no sympathy for this guy.
Yeah, considering what it
have
looks like now, it's
no
not
simpy.
even. Yeah, considering
No
what it looks like now, it's just like nope.
So yeah, I forgot. I saw that tweeted and I was just like, yeah, that's hilarious. No simpy. Just yeah.
I'm trying to look for that image that you retweeted. I can't find it. No.
Oh, well, there you go. No simpy.
No simpy. Oh god.
Oh,
But
Steiner.
yeah, that's interesting. If Punk said that, he just gained some respect back from me because I wasn't I've not been big on him since he left. I didn't care if he came back. I thought he went into the wrong industry. I give him all the credit in the world for going into that industry, but I knew he was gonna get his face caved in. Um, but at least he put his money where his mouth is.
True.
I just wish he had fought a lot sooner than he did, and that's the problem that I had. Other than that, I give him respect for that, and if he actually said that, I'll give him more respect for this.
Yeah.
But what the hell do I know? I'm weird.
We
We're all
are.
weird.
Yeah, we're all.
I mean, considering we're three morons doing a podcast where we have like almost no audience.
It's like my podcast almost every single day, or not my podcast, my stream.
You actually get like 10 people.
I got 10 people today. I didn't have 10 people yesterday or the day before. But
I would have watched a show, but I was out.
I was working as usual.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Anyway, we have. I'm just gonna pull up other images because this is funny. Funny. No, there's Let me open the image in the new tab.
Should we be getting ready for our talk of this week's shows?
I thought we started.
What do we even care?
I'm like, is anything other than the controversy involving Jinder Mahal? Did anything happen this week? And I put the word controversy in big quotes.
Yeah, no shit. Oh yeah, that because I actually did manage to watch that. By the way, you have to sing that. By the way, you have to sing all those quotes to be our guest from Beauty and the Beast.
Oh gosh. Okay, I gotta try this out.
Well, do it in your head. Don't sing it.
I'm not. I'm doing it in my head right now.
But I saw that promo. And I think the only thing that Jinder said that probably got him in trouble was that they all looked alike.
Yeah, I think for those of you who didn't watch, Jinder said a few. I put
derogatory
quotes, the derogatory comments towards Shinsuke Nakamura's Japanese heritage. Some to the point where even the audience starting to turn against them and saying that's too far. That is the only... You won't find that clip on WWE's YouTube channel since it has not been uploaded as the time of this recording.
And it probably won't.
And it probably won't be. But that didn't stop people like the Washington Post from talking about it.
Of course not.
Also, let me just say this. Be glad John's... I know it's hard to say it, but at least be glad John's not here because...
Oh, no.
He would be like...
Oh, he probably would.
I'll say exactly what he said. And we'll be like, oh, jeez. We already have enough with...
I'm still waiting for Twitch to call you, Ty, and go, what the
fuck? I haven't got a phone call or an email yet of wondering, what the fuck? They're probably just waiting for me to break double digits constantly before they just say, yeah, we like what you're doing, but your wrestling podcast needs to be cleaned up. How so? This person named John.
Yeah, you have to. How in the world are you going to explain this one? Yeah, well, you need to talk to this guy and his stuff, and whatever.
And anyway, the only thing I would say to them is, I can't. Why not? He has no filter, no matter how hard we try.
And like
But
the filter between his head and his mouth doesn't exist. We just let him go.
but anyway,
Uh,
the I watched that thing. Now, mind you, I was only half paying attention, so I didn't hear it. Now, mind you, they were referring to Shinsuke's face most of the time. And I think the thing that got them badly was the Karate Kid comment.
What, like the Mr. Miyagi comment
The
and
Mr.
stuff?
Miyagi, you look like Mr. Miyagi, and all of a sudden, and this is the thing I got. This is the thing that got my ire off. They got my ire. If you're gonna do that, no, you're no. I this is where I put my foot down. The line is not wash on, wash off. The line is wax on, wax off, you stupid morons.
If you're gonna fuck up right.
Fuck up right. Shit. Call it it's wax on, wax off. The most iconic line on how to teach a block in karate in a movie, and they fuck up the line. Holy shit.
and we're not even sure if it's actually Jinder's fault or the writer's fault.
No,
Well,
no, I think that no, I think the wash on, wash off thing was ad libbed.
yeah, I think the promo was supposed to be ad lib and making fun of Nakamura. I don't know if it was a SmackDown writer or Jinder was just shooting from the hip. Obviously,
I don't think Jinder was shooting from the hip, particularly. I think the only thing he might have had input in was when he spoke in Punjab. Excuse me, Punjabi. Punjab is a region.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's saying Punjabi. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yes, we're very sorry.
Probably.
Also, there is something we did forget to talk about. It's probably gonna be very short. Let's talk about it after this. That's what we're talking about right now.
What, the death of Enzo Amore, take 117?
Starcade is coming back.
Oh,
yeah, we got to talk
right.
about that. That's right, we got to talk about that because there's more to that than meets the eye.
Yeah, there is.
But yeah, I'd have to re-listen to the interview that Jinder did, and I'm always impressed with Jinder's presence. I gotta say, what the Singh brothers do, being the little shit lackeys that they are, and Jinder coming out with his entrance and the way things go and all. It's always impressive to see. I think what they've done with Jinder is fantastic. Whether or not they took it too far, I don't know, because I didn't hear all the lines. I was only half paying attention. But the joke of the thing wasn't, at least based on what they were doing, didn't seem like they were trying to call into Japanese culture. It was more that they were using the same expressive face of Shinsuke's over and over and over again. It was basically just one photo.
Yeah.
He's going to look like this, and now he's eating, and see, this is him eating, and this is him doing this, and this is him doing this, and this is him doing this, and it's the same face of him looking like he's been kicked in the dick. Okay, and to me that was funny because it's just like, okay, these guys are being stupid, obviously they're trying to get heat. That's the way they're trying to do it. I get it. I'm stupid for that. The Mr. Miyagi, because they started saying that's too far, that's too far, that's too far when the Mr. Miyagi comment went off. And I think that was probably the point when he compared Shinsuke to someone else who was of Japanese descent. Although I think wasn't Pat Morita born in Hawaii?
Yeah.
So while he was of Japanese while he was of Japanese descent, yeah, he was an American. But yeah,
that was interesting. Of course, WWE issued an apology because
well, I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah, when
it
gets slapped over mainstream media, now you have mainstream media calling you out. Yeah, as a corporation, you gotta suck down the pill every once in a while.
Yeah, and we know he's trying to get heat, but I think I'd have to listen to the whole thing because the chant to me did not go off until the Mr. Miyagi comment came in. Yeah. And I don't think and that comment was inappropriate. I think not necessarily for the reasons that I think everyone else thinking is, but it's apples to oranges. It's kind of stupid. Although I think he said they all look the same to me at one point, and that's I think what set them off too. So but
Yeah.
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember. So
So, shall we talk about Starcade and the possible matches, including including
let's
one dream match that we're hoping gets put together?
well
Oh,
let's
please
start
do.
let's start well let's start with Starcade is coming back. First of all, not only are they doing Starcade coming back, Starcade is coming back to
Well,
where it started in Greensboro, Greensboro, South Carolina, at the Greensboro Coliseum, which is huge. We're talking about old Crockett country here. Now if you're not familiar with how Starcade was, and I'm going to preface this here, was a brainchild of Dusty Rhodes to be able to get things going. It was WrestleMania before WrestleMania was a thing. It was the showcase of the best of the NWA and Bugsy McGraw.
yeah.
That you could see, and it was in Greensboro for 4 years, for the first 4 years, and then the fifth year, I think it went to Chicago or something like that. But Greensboro was a big deal for Crockett Country. When people talk about old NWA or old WCW, Greensboro, South Carolina is one of the big areas that they ran at the time. And to have it go back to Greensboro in the venue that apparently still exists, because you can't go to the
Really?
Sportatorium, and yeah, Greensboro Coliseum still exists. Because you can't go to the Sportatorium anymore. That's now parking lot. I checked. But you can go but you can go to the Greensboro Coliseum. So the fact that they are honoring that particular part of the history, that specifically, I think is a pretty good thing. I also think this is a Triple H thing. I really think this is a Triple H thing.
I almost think it is because I can't see Vince doing this because this Hunter has at least more respect for the history and this kind of thing. The fact that it's still up kind of makes it a lot more interesting to know they are going to be doing it at the original venue.
And this is where things get interesting because when the news came out for Starcade,
Oh yeah.
in pipes in Cody Rhodes and his wife Brandy. Now, I don't think Brandy should be talking, in my opinion, but I think Cody does. I think Cody has an
He has the
opinion.
right to say, yeah.
He has the right to say some things. Um, and what he had to say, I think, at least was nice. He didn't say, this. He didn't say "fuck you" for using my father's shit. This is bullshit. You shouldn't be using that. He said at least book Goldie. And Goldie decided to respond and say, "Hey, why don't we have a tag match?" Actually, no, it wasn't Goldie who responded first because it was actually addressed to Michael Hayes.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was
And Hayes
And
said,
good old PS responded with, "Well, hey, screw that. Why don't we get you both in?" And this sparked wildfire. Now, this may be just fantasy booking, and of course, Dustin got involved and said, "How about the Rhodes versus the Hardy Boys?"
which of
That
course
I think,
both parties were more than happy to join in,
which
but
oh yeah,
Oh, definitely. I would
yeah,
love to see that.
and even the Hardys, even Matt Hardy got involved and said, "Only if and of course this was joking, mind you." This was joking, mind you. Only if we can get in our favorite tag team that we always shit on, the Bucks of Youth, involved in our corner. And of course, that's never going to happen. Oh, wait, they just got that day off.
he's like, and we
Oh.
have that day of like you bring the Bucks of Youth, and we'll bring Senior Benjamin
Senior Benjamin and Rebby Hardy and King
and King
Maxwell.
Maxwell.
And I'm just like, there's no way this is going to happen. And then Matt Jackson chimes in and said, "Oh my gosh, we now have that day off."
If that day turns out to be some kind of magical event,
If
with
that
all this-
happens, you know that's going to be the second main event behind the world title match.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and mind you, this is mostly a SmackDown show.
Yeah,
And
this is
Dusty-
this is essentially a since they already have a big name pay-per-view that month, something called Survivor Series.
Something called the Survivor Series.
Yeah,
yeah,
this
but
is essentially a glorified SmackDown show with a stat card. But if they could land all those pieces lined up like that, imagine the press release this will get.
oh, it would. The fact is that even though it's at a regular arena and not like something bigger, I think this would get so many people to watch. And if they really do have that happen, next year everyone's like, "Holy shit! This might be one of the best shows we've watched in a very long time."
It is still a house show, but I think they're going to obviously film it from the network for obvious reasons.
Well,
It is. They did actually put it that it is going to be on the network.
Okay, so they've actually confirmed, because they didn't say that they would put it on the network.
So yeah, like I said, it's a network special.
Well, if it's
Yeah.
then that's fantastic. If they're able to do that, then great. I'll be all for that, because that's really what they need to do.
Oh, yeah.
For something like Starrcade. Particularly, let's see here. Now, it'd be funny. Now, it's a couple of months away. Now, just imagine this. You have that stat card that they showed on there. You have the tag match with Dusty,
The Hardy Brothers
and
versus the Rhodes
the
family.
Hardy Brothers versus the Rhodes Brothers. And let's just have some fun with this. Let's have the judges be brought in also, because they used to bring in judges also. And two of the judges are Ric Flair and Sting.
Ooh.
And now I wish Lou was on this episode, because this could have been fun.
Damn it, Lou! Why did you have to work?
We might have to do a special Sunday episode just talking about Starrcade after the pay-per-view.
We might. I think we should, just because. I think that's what we should do, because just do like a small show just talking about the pay-per-view
But
and
yeah,
stuff
continue.
that just comes up without them. But yeah, anyway. Oh man, if Starrcade becomes a big deal for a lot of us fans, shit, WWE may be onto something, getting back the old the old WCW pay-per-views up. They might not get the same kind of,
Yeah, we're never going to get World War III as much as we love it. War Games as much as we would love it, but
War Games is fine. World War III can go piss up a rope.
That's
Shit.
why I changed it to War Games. I didn't
know,
want
I
I didn't want to
War
bring
Games
back
I'm
World
okay
War
with.
III.
Here's the thing, though. One pay-per-view I wish would happen, and it happens on a Tuesday. What happens?
That's okay. Fucking Survivor Series used to happen on a Wednesday.
No. It happens on a Tuesday
Taboo
next month.
Tuesday?
Halloween Havoc.
Let's not push it. Halloween Havoc has a mixed bag as far as matches, especially
Well, yeah, in terms of matches, but think about this.
and
WWE
reputation.
They could sell SmackDown as a
Well,
bigger.
I assume that would be a
like they
Raw
did
pay
that
per
last
view just to
week.
keep. I assume that would be a Raw pay per view just to keep things even, but
And because here's the thing, it's not like they haven't done this before. Okay, they've had the Great
No.
American Bash before. Okay?
Oh yeah, we all know
They've
that.
done the Great American Bash for a bit before they retired that again. But Starrcade is their biggest deal. I mean, more so than Super Brawl, more so than Great American Bash, more so than Halloween Havoc. Starrcade is the WrestleMania of the original NWA.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah, because that was the big one.
And mind you, remember, Starrcade was 2 to 3 years earlier than WrestleMania. WrestleMania was 85. Starrcade was 83. Starrcade was 83. I don't know if they did an 82, but Starrcade was a big deal, particularly since Starrcade 83 was the first match between was the return match between Ric Flair and Harley Race when Harley Race won the title for the 7th time. And this would be Ric Flair's second world title reign of his 16 unofficial 22 reigns. So Starrcade is a big fucking deal, much bigger than this fucking No Mercy shit we got to talk about. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck is this card?
Should we get this over with?
Let's just get
Yes,
this.
let's just
Let's
get
get
this
this
We have
fucking
a half
over
hour
with.
left, and that'll probably take up the time. Let me go to Wikipedia, see if we can find the No Mercy card.
It's already here. It's already here.
I already, you know
You
what?
already typed it in.
I already typed it into the Google Doc. Just look it up and just don't even bother going to the Wikipedia page.
Yeah,
It's there.
Yeah, it's there. Can we honestly say in order of importance that Neville is going to murderize Enzo?
That better happen.
That better happen because we want to see Enzo's entire thing that's been going on in the back. Just say, Neville, just murder him and just make it so he doesn't even move for the next 6 months.
He is the king of the cruiserweights against the king of the assholes.
The court jester.
Yeah, I think all of us are putting in. Yeah, let's not put in Neville.
Let's just put in Neville. Also, the Balor versus Wyatt. Are we all going to say that Balor's going to repeat because?
Yeah.
He already lost once as human, and I don't think they're going to do that again. Why are we doing this match again?
Yeah. Fatal 5-way for the Raw Women's title. Oh yeah, that's right. I completely forgot that it was a 5-way. That match is actually kind of important. So let's go to the Miz versus Jason Jordan.
We're not even gonna say who to pick.
Well, we'll pick that later.
Because I want to get all the shit matches out of the way.
Right.
Which is almost every single match.
Yeah.
So who's it gonna be? The father versus the bastard?
I'm picking the father on this one. I see no reason for Jason Jordan to win the title. It won't put him any higher. Kurt Angle's not really involved in it that much. I haven't really seen him win a whole lot. I'm picking the asshole on this one. He's doing a better job.
That's actually a better name. The asshole versus the bastard.
Yeah, it's just like I see no reason for Jason Jordan to get the title.
Yeah, Jordan, I think at this point doesn't need it. The Miz is helping that title right now. And I will say this, The Miz had a great way of ending that show. It's like, and you're nothing more than a bastard.
So
just The Miz is gonna win this because at this point there's no other choice.
Yeah, watch we all look stupid. What else? Tag title match.
Ambrose Rollins.
Yeah, I'm gonna say truncated Shield myself.
Same.
Yeah, oh wait, I put it in the wrong spot. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, that's the
There we go. But I'm not considering that important. I'm just putting it there because I want to be funny.
Of course, it now goes over John's name.
Well, if I put a space over here, it doesn't. See, if I go over here, and I put a space there and put it in, see, it all disappears just like that. Fatal 5-way. I'm going with Jax on this one. I'm going with Nia Jax on this one. I love Alexa. Don't get me wrong. I would love to see Bayley win the title.
But she just came back from injury. And Asuka's on her way. Yeah,
So
And
she's going to need
honestly,
The
someone
only
to
heel
murder.
that's there. There's only one big heel that they have there, and that's Nia Jax. I don't see Alexa Bliss. I
I
don't see Alexa coming out of this.
I
I don't
see
see Alexa
Alexa
nor
for
does
one.
Emma.
I see Alexa for one reason. Because remember, in NXT, although I don't know how many of the main people watch NXT, but remember, Asuka beat Nia Jax in NXT. I don't think she faced off against Alexa
Twice.
yet. So for that reason, I'm putting my money on Alexa. It's too soon for Bailey to
Oh.
win the title, and I don't unless they want Asuka to come in as a heel. I don't see Banks winning the title either.
I don't see Sasha winning the title either. I don't see
Me
Sasha
neither.
winning
And
the
I don't
title
see
either.
Emma. I mean, listen, Emma.
Emma's
I mean,
cool and all, but I don't see her winning the title.
yeah, it's kind of sad to see her put in the situation. I would like to see more would do with her. Just try to book her well, but still, I got Nia Jax on this.
Okay.
Okay,
The
and
two important matches: Roman Reigns versus the guy that even Cricket Wireless can't see. Did you see that commercial about him?
No.
no, wait.
Oh gosh. So Cena has now admitted that ever since he started putting his hand on his face, he has actually turned invisible. For a Cricket Wireless thing. So every time you watch a match, watch a match or a commercial or something that involves John Cena, there's actually a guy in the back that actually digitally puts him into those areas, which is really freaking hard. Apparently, he works 24/7 to put Cena into the commercials, so that way you can actually see him because apparently he's actually invisible.
I need to find that commercial now. I think I'm
Oh, it's
actually going to start
hilarious!
looking for it.
It's like 3 to 4 minutes.
Oh,
It's
It's like-
hilarious. He has taken this meme and turned it into a beast. I
You know, it's
mean,
actually- here's something funny that John Cena posted on. I know we probably just overseen it, but if you actually looked on his Twitter, he's like, "So iPhone 10 about Face ID. What do I do?"
what do I do? Yeah, he has owned that meme.
Yeah,
He has so owned it. He has owned Thugonomics. He's owned You Can't See Me. He's owned everything. Because he, I mean, you couldn't believe what this guy is. The man has such a good sense of humor
he is.
about that shit. You
Yeah.
know,
There's just something
and
about Steve that he actually knows when to make a joke and make it work. That's what I like so much about Cena is that the guy's a born natural at it,
well, I'm not sure if he was a born natural, but
or just trained well at it.
he's done well enough. He's a much better talker than he is a wrestler. Well, I'll say that, but you know, as Steve Austin said, you know, he only has three. As Steve Austin said about himself, to paraphrase him, he only has about 3 offensive moves. But you know, most
Yeah.
champions only have 3 offensive moves, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Reigns, I'm sorry, Cena is in a very interesting position
It is.
because
The whole situation is in a very interesting situation because of the fact that we have the one thing I've been seeing this whole thing is that this buildup has been doing pretty well. Reigns has been doing better on the mic, but
it's all Cena.
But Cena's been
Yeah.
lucky stopping him.
And
The only time Reigns got a solid word edgewise is the one week Cena's in another country.
exactly, and that's because he had no choice but to be in China.
Yeah, it's for a WWE situation.
Yeah, so it was the only time Cena couldn't basically talk back in his signature way. And it makes me go, this is the only chance you got. And it felt kind of weak for your buildup.
Well, and here's the thing: Cena has been given the task of trying to build the next guy. Okay, this is a task that has happened before. Okay, we're talking Andre. We're talking gosh, who the fuck? whoever beat whoever put San Martino in his position, whoever put Bob Backlund in his position. Eventually, Hogan, and then eventually particularly Andre Hogan, Hogan to The Rock, Rock to Cena. Now Cena has to build the guy that they've been trying and trying and trying to build for so long, and they just can't do it. They Reigns has the potential to be a star. Don't get me wrong. He has the potential to be a star. I think he's been put in very bad circumstances that because there's other talent out there that outshines him, whether it's on a wrestling position or on the mic position. You have AJ Styles, you have Kevin Owens, you have a John Cena, you have Seth Rollins, uh, you have all of these people that are much better than him just because they've had the experience, and they're also much grittier than Reigns. Reigns has a very squeaky clean image. If you look at it compared to a Seth Rollins, particularly if you go back to because if you want to talk about a deal with Ring of Honor, then we'd actually be seeing Tyler Black, and Tyler Black is the prototype of what Seth Rollins would be. But these are all things that Reigns doesn't have. Reigns is pretty much born and bred WWE. I don't think he had any independent cred, which was a big deal back then,
Oh
and
yeah.
and is even more of a big deal now. It's interesting when you see Adam Pearce come in and as one of the guys from the back, um, and because when you listen to these names that I never heard of, and you listen to these names that I hear in passing through podcasts or what have you, people like Adam Pearce, people like Adam Cole, Red Dragon, Roderick Strong, all these people that come in, and then eventually people from TNA like Bobby Roode, AJ Styles, etc., Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, because their counterparts are supposedly dead in Mexico. Um, Owens' words, not mine. Reigns is an uphill climb, and there was supposed to be a case for certain things like Triple H versus Shane and all that kind of stuff, but Cena has the near impossible task of trying to put the largest single bandage on the
Biggest broken
project
arm.
that is Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns as the guy. Undertaker couldn't do it. And
The
mind you,
Rock couldn't do it.
The Rock couldn't do it. And mind you, Undertaker in a match at his age at that point in time did not help. Okay, so I'm not going to put it all on Reigns' issue. I'm not going to put it all on Undertaker. I think just the timing of the match did not help. Had it been done 5 years earlier, it probably would have gone over a little better. But for me, I know I'm talking a little too much on this. That's why I'm going with Cena on this one. I don't think they put enough stock into Reigns to do it. I don't think they're ready to pull the trigger on him just yet. I think they're going to build Cena and Reigns as a long feud, and Cena needs to win the first one. This is going to be the first time in a long time that I think Cena is going to be viewed as the babyface on this. Um, remember how I said that the Miz was the best heel ever? That was going on for a while
Yeah.
until they put him in front of John Cena. Um, Cena is now in a very interesting position where now I think, for the very first time in a very long time, he's not going to be seen as the tweener. He's going to be seen as the babyface. Because Reigns has been in this weird ass position for so long that the audience is conditioned to boo Roman Reigns. And there's a very good video for that put out by I want to say Little Karibo, or no, maybe it was Little Karibo.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was Karibo because yeah, the smart remark or what was it?
Yeah. I think it was that show, and it was like a 30-minute thing on Roman Reigns, how things started with him, how things went, where it possibly went wrong, how do you fix it? Now, I don't think. See, it's going to be one of those things where I'm saying Cena is viewed as the baby face. Now, does that mean they're going to turn Roman Reigns heel? No, I don't think so. I think he's just going to be viewed as the heel, but he's also going to be viewed as the. See, the problem with something like a Roman Reigns is that it's not that Roman Reigns is being viewed as a baby face or the heel. It's that he's the guy that nobody wants to see. They're booing him. They're booing him because nobody wants that. Not, and I mean nobody. I use that very facetiously, of course. But it's like nobody wants to see him.
It's the
But if you
Xbox.
turn,
It's the old school Xbox heat.
it's X-Pac heat, yeah. But now, and mind you, X-Pac is a very nice individual, particularly with his little dog. But
Which I'm actually glad for that.
yes. That poor little dog. I'm so happy X-Pac picked him up.
Good on him.
But
Anyway.
But yeah, that's why I'm going with Cena on this one. It looks like you two are agreeing with me.
Mainly because you put up so many good points about this whole thing that it's not even funny that Cena at this point
I
is
admit
the
I was
only
going to do this alone, but go ahead.
that you are totally right that Cena is the only thing right now that they have again, that like you said, we've been conditioned to hate Roman, even though in real life we actually like the guy because he's actually cool. It's just that how he's booked and all that is why we don't like it and how they're pushing him. However, like you say, this could be a long-term feud, possibly ending at WrestleMania. Let's hope so, because at this point they're this far in, they have to have it end at WrestleMania for this feud.
I'd be okay with that. It's a 6-month feud. I'd be okay with that.
We kind of need a long-term feud anyway. At this point, Cena needs to win just so that it shows that Roman. How can I put it? He needs to be humiliated.
Roman needs the challenge to strive up to.
Yes,
he needs to be beat so bad. He needs to be beat so bad, like The Rock beat Cena at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now you just added another point I was going to make, but go ahead.
That Reigns has to come back from that, I think, is what you're trying to say.
I think the problem with Reigns is, and I'm using a literary term, but one I think most of us heard of. He, to at least some fans, at least in my opinion, he's been built for years as a Mary Sue, or in his case, a Gary Stu. Someone who is perfect. He looks great. He wins all his matches. He's cool. And the thing is,
he has the name behind him.
Yeah. And the thing is, there's no hero's journey to build him up to that next level. Cena went through the hero's journey. Yeah, you might not like how it ended, but he started at the bottom, getting thrown around by Kurt Angle, and is now 16-time champion. Hunter went through the hero's,
Hunter was unique.
Journey.
Let's be honest. Considering how he started in WCW, the old WCW, not the one that. But yeah,
long term meant the people who become the man had to go through a journey to get to it. It could be short like Hogan, or it could be a long term one like Bryan Danielson. But
short. That's a long time for Hogan. It was minuscule for Hogan.
You are right on that.
He came in and became world champion.
Well, that's why I said short, but.
Let's also think some of these other guys that also went through the hero's journey. We also had
Steve Austin,
Bret Hart.
You had Shawn Michaels. Fucking Shawn Michaels.
Yes. A lot of guys that had Oh yeah, the Rock.
The Rock. Oh God, does anyone remember Rocky Maivia?
Yes, yes, I remember him with the funky hair and the eventual jeans and the fanny pack.
If we were to count his TNA run, AJ Styles had his hero's journey. Just started at a different company.
Yeah,
Samoa Joe, like a lot of great guys went. They never got pushed to the top immediately. These guys worked for it. They worked their ass off to prove it, and they put it in stride. A lot of these guys did. Heck, I would even say for someone that would also do the same thing. I know it seems like a bit of a stretch, but if you think about it, how Seth Rollins kind of went to the whole thing.
Well, yeah, Tyler Black and Dean Ambrose, or John Moxley, what you want to call him. Even his fellow Shield mates went through somewhat of a journey.
Yeah, now let's be fair. Reigns went through that same journey with Ambrose and Rollins as part of the Shield. For what, 2 years?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
2
wanna
years.
say?
Yeah, it was 2 years.
And mind you, Rollins was never world champion in those things. In fact, if I remember correctly, I'm sorry, Reigns never became world champion in NXT. I believe it was Rollins who was NXT champion,
Yeah,
wasn't it?
Rollins was
It was
NXT
Rollins.
champion. Yeah, Rollins was the only one that's NXT champion.
And
I
he
don't
actually
think
had-
I don't even think either Ambrose or Reigns were FCW champion.
Yeah.
Give me a quick second.
And at that point in time, Roman Reigns was in the Islanders short shorts
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
didn't have the vest yet.
The de facto Samoan gimmick starter kit.
Yeah,
now-
yeah. Just see Haku circa 1986, or Tonga or whatever the hell you want to call them. You can tell I've been watching a lot of primetime wrestling.
A little bit, yeah. And
fucking humanoids. Anyway,
just a quick note. Reigns in FCW was a FCW tag champ, not
Okay.
not a champ.
but not their main event champ. Okay, that
Yes.
that makes sense. That makes sense, because
Okay, this I'd like to clarify that.
but this is also a guy that been put into the spotlight that has never been necessarily been groomed for the main event initially.
No, he's never been groomed. He was just seen, and they just said, "Okay, guys, make him the new star, and push him to the moon."
And that's not necessarily a bad thing as long
No,
as the
it's
audience
not.
is accepting of that. The problem is that they ended up getting in other talent that outshined him.
And you know, and there
And
was
suddenly,
actually
it suddenly
one
went from
point-
okay, I guess Reigns is the next guy to wait, all these people are better than him. Why is he the next guy?
And
let's also remember when that turn happened. Do we have to remember when it
The
happened?
Royal Rumble.
the Royal Rumble.
While Daniel Bryan was still white hot.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that affected him greatly also, because
And I
after Bryan got eliminated, so was Ziggler, so was Sami Zayn,
And so was Bray Wyatt, and then the
and so
crowd
was
just
Bray Wyatt,
turned
and then
against the
everyone
entire
was sort
Rumble.
of like,
Sami
what
Zayn
the
never
fuck?
got in. That was in 2015.
That was a different one. Okay, yeah, that was
2015 was the last time, and that's also that same WrestleMania that he won his IC title that got him a Grand Slam.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and of course, 2015 is also a very important Royal Rumble, if I remember correctly. Was it 2015 or 2016?
2015, because the Royal Rumble for 2016 was Roman was fighting everybody to keep his title.
Yeah, he
So
lost.
it was basically
Triple H won that one.
Triple H won that
the
one.
finals
Yeah,
was Ambrose versus
which of course showcased, Triple H versus
Dean Ambrose.
another future world champion, Dean Ambrose, whom I thought carried the belt pretty well.
Yeah, Dean
But
Ambrose.
it was-
The case of Ambrose's title run is the IWC Bobs out there turned on him like they turned on a lot of people. But that's another rant for another day.
Yeah, but 2016 was also important for the Royal Rumble, Because while the number 1 entrant was Roman Reigns and the number 2 entrant was Rusev, the number 3 entrant was a guy that was really important. And I think that fucked over Roman also.
Oh yes.
The debut of AJ
That was
Styles.
AJ Styles.
Yep. Oh, that was a great thing.
I think that fucked him over also, because that was a weird, because you have a guy that people have been talking about for years, whether it be TNA or
New Japan.
He
Ring of Honor or New Japan.
He literally just came off of New Japan on their version of WrestleMania.
From Wrestle Kingdom and
Wrestle
said,
Kingdom, yeah.
I'm doing this now. And that just blew everybody's mind. I mean, that because nobody knew what the fuck that music was, and then you saw the word phenomenal. I'm like, no.
And then you see it,
and then you see him, and it's like, they got him.
Holy shit.
And that's the kind of information they need to keep to heart. So anyway,
and they did.
So anyway, I think Cena's going to win. I think everybody else is in agreement.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because again, the hero's journey, like you said before, has to be natural.
And plus, Cena monkey stomped him in 2 out of 3 promos. It will kind of be stupid if Reigns suddenly somehow wins. Then where you go?
Yeah, if Reigns wins, then we're all kind of going, this kind of ruins the push.
Yeah.
As Will said earlier, he needs, and this is also part of a hero's journey, sometimes you need to be cut down in order to be built up bigger, and a loss will do just that, like it did for Cena.
The question is, I think a lot of us are trying to, I think is the big question, I think we actually should have been asking this. Even if this does work to actually push Reigns to actually go through this somewhat, this abridged version of a hero's journey through Cena, will it help?
We will not know until
we
afterwards.
won't know till they pay off, until the results pay off. You know, that's the big thing. Is
yeah. If it actually ends well, if it actually goes to WrestleMania, which I kind of hope it does, because at this point this is your only option. If it doesn't, I don't know what they can do, because at this point you have Cena, who is the pillar, the peak of what WWE is for what you feel like you're supposed to do. Because a lot of guys that beat Cena clean have gone really far,
like AJ Styles.
like AJ Styles. Again, he's just good to begin with, but he just proved it just so how much better how great he actually is. But through Reigns, at this point, even if he beats Cena and that still doesn't work, there's nowhere else they can go. They have done everything. There is no one else that they can look up to say, you have to beat this guy in order to say that people will actually like you, because he's the last line. I can't think of anyone else. There's really no one. I've looked at the roster, even from the indies. There's no one. So in other words, this might be Reigns' last ditch effort to actually be liked.
Or let's not say liked, let's say respected.
That's actually more appropriate. Yeah.
I think let's say respected in the industry at this point, because
yeah,
I think because people are going to like people, and people
will like him. He needs to earn the respect. If without the respect, you're not getting anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, we like him as a person, but his character
needs a lot of work.
Yeah, again, like I say, this is his last ditch effort.
So seeing that our audience is actually leaving, we might as well get the last match over with. Lesnar Strowman, and looks like I guess we're all in agreement that we want Strowman to win.
We want Strowman to take the Suplex City Mare and throw him into the gulag. No, that is the wrong accent for that.
Here's the thing, though. He no-sold the suplex.
Well, if he no-sells the F5, that's even better.
Well, if he no-sells the F5, you just look at the screen and go, okay, now it's time to stop watching wrestling.
Yeah, but I'd rather see. But I would love to see Strowman do that.
Yeah.
Just hi, bam, hi. What? I would not mind see that. I don't care who wins in this one. I just would love to see Braun win this one.
Like we just
There
want
is a
we
rumor.
just want to see another Smash Mouth fight similar to Lesnar
Yeah,
Goldberg. Lesnar Goldberg
people.
2 before anyone says anything.
Yeah, people say that we don't like seeing big hoss matches. Because we're the smaller guys. There are a lot more smaller guys these days, and they're with the higher flying and all that kind of stuff. Strowman and Joe and Lesnar and
These guys are unique. They're
they're
not big men.
well, they are big men. They are big men.
They're big.
But Braun's just huge.
Like Braun's huge, but the fact is, he has the agility of a middle guy.
Well,
Which-
I
he
wouldn't
he
stretch
can
that.
he can somewhat move. If
he
you want to
can
look
move,
if you want to look at a guy that can really move in the ring at the kind of at as how big he is, look up Brian Cage. He can actually do stuff. He can actually really fly. But uh, Strowman can move around in certain ways, but he at least knows how to be built as a strong man. And we don't have a whole lot of big hoss matches these days.
especially
I
one that's actually proper.
and I think that now that we've had the Cruiserweight Classic, now that we've had the Mae Young Classic, now we need to find something that personifies the big hoss. The super hosses. And I just
The
call
hillbilly
just call it
the hillbilly
no,
gym
no, no, no,
classic.
no. You don't even have to add. Well, remember, Cruiserweight Classic never had a name attached to it, so you couldn't call it like the Big Hoss Classic because then people will look up Big Hoss Funk, and we don't want that. No, if there was a name that I could think of that I would attach to like Big Hoss, if you wanted to attach to that for something like a heavyweight classic, uh, I would probably attach Barry Windham. I'd attach Andre, but he's already attached to something else. But I'd attach Barry Windham. I'd attach John Studd. Um, there are quite a few names out there that I could think of that you could attach to something like a heavyweight classic. You could call it Clash of the Heavyweights or Clash of the Super Heavyweights or some shit like that, where you just get big guys that you teach and you teach them how to wrestle and you teach them that big smash mouth style. It would go over. It would go over, and you'd have people eating it up because this is something new. We haven't seen big hoss matches in a long ass time because we're all paying it because half of the people are paying attention to the Omegas and the Buckses of the world. Okay. And if you look at New Japan, they're all smaller. Most of them are smaller guys. The last big guy in Japan that I can think of in recent time is Kenta Kobashi, and he was like 6 foot fucking 3. And that's tall for Japanese if you're not counting. Uh, a big tournament like that would work.
The big man tournament.
The big man tournament. Sponsored by Euro Trucking 2017.
I guess this is the end of the show this week,
Well,
unless anyone has anything to add.
before we go, I just want to say I want to wish luck to Shayna Baszler. Her contract's been signed now. That was announced on the 12th, of course, and apparently 4 days later, nobody could figure out that she was actually signed to WWE. She's on her way to Florida right now. I wish her all the luck in the world. Break some bodies, Queen. Break some bodies.
And all that's left is to get Ronda Rousey's contract situation settled, and we might have
That's
that.
not settled at all.
Huh?
That's not settled at all.
I said
I think that fell through.
I said settled. I didn't say it was settled anywhere near close to it. And
Yeah,
we might have that.
I think that fell through completely.
Oh damn!
I think that fell through completely. And part of me is okay with that. I would rather personally. I want to see Shayna be Shayna. I don't want Shayna there.
Shayna as part of a group.
as part of a group. Shayna needs to go in there and break bodies the way she knows how. And it's actually kind of funny because a lot of people started hating her.
Well, she could come in as a heel.
Well, that's the thing. She wrestles heel. She wrestles heel.
Oh, there you go. Oh gosh, Shayna
But
versus matches Shayna versus Asuka at WrestleMania.
well, that's what they were. That's what I would build towards personally. I personally think they could have a watershed moment and make her Intercontinental Champion.
Well, the second since
I could
China,
I could honestly see that she could eclipse China in my opinion because she is that much of a badass.
I'm now trying to picture her beating the shit out of the Miz.
Oh yeah, it'd be great. It'd be great. It'd be fucking great. Or someone just as equally as Weasley. I mean, shit. You could have that kind of a watershed moment where you could give her Intercontinental Champion. Now, I think that she needs to. I think that the big money for her right now, honestly, would be her against Asuka.
Yeah.
The start of some things are happening. You're seeing Natalya versus Charlotte. I think Charlotte's going to end up winning the title eventually, which they're kind of pushing towards the whole horsewomen versus horsewomen thing. But with people on different shows, it's kind of hard to do.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's why I think that's part of the reason, along with, I mean, obviously, if they did a superstar shakeup, obviously they could bring things back and forth. But I think the big money right now, if it were just Shayna on her own, Shayna needs to beat the hell out of Asuka. Shayna, I think
if Shayna's gonna beat Asuka, she has to be the first one to beat Asuka.
Yeah,
she has to be the one that finally ends the streak.
And this is my booking toilet on. This is what I would do. Have Kairi come in first, have her in the title tournament, whatever. Have her win the NXT title. Have Shayna come out, beat the shit out of her. Have a build up towards NXT Takeover. Have her win the NXT title. Have her keep going. Blah blah blah. And if you really wanted to have a moment too, keep Shayna undefeated. Keep Shayna undefeated. Have her retire the title. She leaves. You have another tournament again. Bring in Toni Storm and all that, because Toni Storm's actually really fucking good. So is Piper Niven. All of them are really good. And then Shayna goes off and beats the shit out of Asuka.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. The reason why people don't like Shayna, well, there are a couple reasons why people don't like Shayna. Some people don't like her look. Well, fuck them, right? But some people don't like the way she wrestles.
Oh boy.
And you know what the funny part? Guess who she was trained by?
Who?
Well, there are two people that trained her. One of them is some person that you might have never heard of, some guy that's been in wrestling and MMA for a while. I don't know if you ever heard of him. Some guy named Josh Barnett. And then there was another guy. You ever notice that whenever Shayna enters the ring, you notice she kind of does something, kind of kisses her fingers and points at the sky?
Yeah.
Well, she's pointing to somebody in particular, and that's her other trainer, who was, kind of a big deal. Fucking Billy Robinson. She's a ground wrestler whose love of pro wrestling got her into catch wrestling. And she wrestles that kind of World of Sport style that Billy Robinson was involved in. And Billy Robinson also does a lot of other things that she gets. She excels because she does something different. People also don't like her because they don't want another MMA person. She has been a pro wrestling person all her life. She's just been in MMA for 16 years. And when she choked the shit out of Candice LeRae past the point where she won, and when I'm starting to hate Shayna, she's doing her job right. Break some bodies, Queen. Go break some bodies.
With that said, good night, everyone who has watched. Good night. And till next week to find out how wrong we were this time. Because I know we probably fucked up about half our picks.
I just wonder what John and Lou are going to pick, because with how the scores are looking right now.
Yeah. Hey, good night, everyone.
Watch us flip-flop, and all of a sudden John and Lou go in the lead or some shit.
Well, Lou already has...
He's 1 point behind, isn't he?
Lou's in second place. Ty and I are tied for first.
I'm just right behind you.
Yes.
And John's. This is probably his chance to catch up.
Watch him get it all right.
Yeah. Anyway, good night,
We'll
everyone.
see you next time.